Have you ever wondered what would happen if Rick Grimes, the ultimate survivor, got the chance to build a society from scratch? Not just a small community like Alexandria, but a sprawling metropolis for 500,000 people. Today, we're diving deep into that very idea, exploring how Rick would forge a new world from the ashes of the old one, a city built in his own image. After the events of the Commonwealth, imagine a more experienced, wiser Rick Grimes. He's seen the best and worst of humanity, the failures of large-scale societies, and the brutal necessities of survival. He understands that to truly rebuild, you need more than walls and weapons. You need a vision, and Rick's vision would be forged in the fire of everything he has lost and everything he has fought to protect. His first priority wouldn't be luxury, it would be security. We're talking about a city designed with defense as its core principle. Not just one wall, but multiple concentric rings of fortifications. The outer layer would be a massive, brutalist structure. Think something out of a futuristic war movie designed to withstand walker hordes of unprecedented size between the rings. Kill zones, strategic choke points, and farmland, ensuring that even if one wall is breached, the city remains defensible and every citizen would undergo mandatory defense training, not just to fight walkers, but to understand the city's defense protocols. In Rick's city, every single person is a soldier when the alarm bells ring. But a city is more than its defenses. It's about its people. Rick has learned the hard way that dictatorships, even benevolent ones, eventually crumbled. He wouldn't rule as a king. Instead, he'd establish a council system similar to what he had in Alexandria, but on a much grander scale. This council wouldn't be made of politicians, but of proven leaders' heads of engineering, agriculture, medicine, and defense. People who have demonstrated competence and a commitment to the greater good. Rick would likely serve as the head of this council, a first among equals, his voice carrying the weight of his experience, but not absolute power. His most famous rule, if you don't fight, you don't eat, would evolve. It would become, if you don't contribute, you don't benefit. Everyone has a role, from the farmers in the fields to the engineers maintaining the water purification systems, to the teachers educating the next generation. The laws in Grimesville, let's call it, would be simple, direct, and brutally effective. The core principle, the safety of the community, is paramount. Crimes that threaten the group murder, sabotage, hoarding, critical supplies would be met with swift and severe justice. There would be no lengthy trials or moral debates when the very existence of 500,000 people is on the line. Rick's justice system would be transparent and decisive. Exile would likely be the ultimate punishment for most major offenses, a fate almost worse than death in the walker-infested world. He's learned from the Negan situation. Keeping a dangerous enemy alive within your walls is a risk he'd be unwilling to take again on such a massive scale. What about the economy? In a world without currency, value is determined by skill and resources. Grimesville would operate on a sophisticated system of credits based on labor and contribution. Everyone receives a baseline of food, water, and housing. But extra comforts, better living quarters, or specialized goods, those are earned through your work. A skilled surgeon's hours would be worth more credits than a simple manual laborer's. Not because one is more important as a person, but because their skill set is rarer and more critical to the city's survival. This creates an incentive to learn, to specialize, and to work hard for the benefit of all, and for oneself. It's a meritocracy born from necessity. Now let's think about the layout. The city's heart would be the command center and the main council hall. From there, the city would radiate outwards. The innermost ring would house critical infrastructure, the main hospital, the armory, the central granary, and the homes of the council and essential personnel. The next rings would be residential zones, mixed with community centers, schools, and marketplaces. These zones would be designed to be self-contained to an extent, each with its own local militia posts and emergency supplies. This cellular design means that if one section of the city falls into chaos, it can be isolated, protecting the rest of the population. The outermost ring before the kill zones would be dedicated almost entirely to large-scale agriculture and industry power generation. Manufacturing and recycling plants. Education in Grimesville would be a fascinating blend of old world knowledge and new world survival. Children would learn reading, writing, and math, but they'd also learn crop rotation, basic first aid, weapon maintenance, and walker evasion tactics. History lessons wouldn't just be about the Roman Empire. They'd be about the fall of Atlanta, the war with the saviors, and the lessons learned from the failures of Woodbury and the Commonwealth. The goal is to create a generation that never forgets the dangers of the outside world, or the fragility of their new civilization. They would be raised to be resilient, practical, and fiercely loyal to their community. But what about hope? What about art, music, and culture? Rick knows a life of pure survival isn't a life worth living. He saw Carl's desire for a normal childhood. He'd ensure that Grimesville had spaces for culture to flourish. There would be libraries filled with salvaged books, theaters for community-run plays, and designated areas for artists and musicians. These wouldn't be luxuries. They'd be essential services, vital for maintaining morale and giving people a reason to fight for something more than just their next meal. He'd remember Herschel's belief in faith and Laurie's desire for a future for Carl. This city wouldn't just be a fortress. It would be a beacon of what humanity could once again become. So, could it work? A city of 500,000 souls, all living under the principles of Rick Grimes. It would be a tough, demanding society. It wouldn't be a paradise of individual freedom in the way we think of it today. Your life would be dedicated to the collective, but it would be safe. It would be just. And in a world filled with the dead, it would be vibrantly, fiercely alive. It would be the ultimate testament to a man who lost everything but never, ever gave up. It would be Rick's final, greatest victory. What do you think? Could a city built on Rick's ideals truly succeed on such a massive scale? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of The Walking Dead, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.